Hello, everybody, and welcome back to, well, this interesting session.
A series of unfortunate events.
Oh, I liked the movie, but I didn't watch the Netflix series because I was like, I've already seen the movie. This isn't as good. I could be wrong. All right, so here we are. You guys are standing on top of something that's slipping and falling. Going to allow you to plummet to your, we'll see. And then another one of you is on the ground, kind of like, am I still alive? Oh, by the blessings of the motor, I am. And being dragged along the edge. And the other one, who literally just finished defeating the beast, or so you think,
I did defeat it, though. We all know I did.
is watching Valorant being dragged away.
So am I
Wait,
still
he's being
grappled?
dragged past me. It's not coming down on my head. Oh, that's fine.
We'll see how it plays out from your perspective. What are you doing there, one?
I'm gonna try and grab Valen.
Trying to rush over and grab Valorant. Valorant, what are you doing?
Am I still grappled?
Not exactly, because it's not
Okay.
alive anymore. But there's a whole bunch. It's like a mess of rope was thrown on top of you
Okay.
and it's being
So
dragged.
I won't tick any status things, and you just apply whatever your DC you've decided. I'm gonna try and get out.
Okay, you just fatigue then, and you're going to attempt to acrobatics your way out of there.
Yes. My God, that's that actually is a 2 difference.
Oh! Oh! Oh!
If you
Oh.
roll a 20, if you roll a 20,
Neil, what are you doing on your turn, buddy?
So Rarin can see this huge, massive vines that's just the weight of it is pulling Varen off.
You actually don't see Valorant yet. I was describing Valorant to one before. You actually just see
can't
the
see.
vines being pulled down from the
I mean,
weight.
he wouldn't do anything then. There's nothing because, like, if he doesn't think his friend's there, he wouldn't do anything. Would
But you yourself are standing on vines that are also falling.
But there are also, because of how creepers work, there will be creepers attached. So he just step across to the wall and just grab hold of them.
Okay, so you just kind of want to, because so remember there was the wall down below, the ceiling above, a gap of space, and it was just kind of suspended in the middle between them. So this thing honestly is probably not falling so fast that you'd be like, oh, like a cartoon, like, you know. But you do know that it is tilting and bending, so it is very likely that you're either going to get crushed underneath the sheer weight of how massive this is, or you're going to be thrown off of it because it's tilting. But you're
Yeah, so
looking
it's
to
like-
jump to the wall and grab on.
There's a lip here, a wall here with creepers attached.
Correct, but they also
that
went
right back.
they also went across a gap too,
Yeah, yeah.
outer wall to inner ceiling.
I mean, he just step across to the creepers that
Okay.
are like actually attached to the wall.
Cool. So to get across to there, just because you don't have like a strong ground that you're on, you are gonna have to make a bit of a jump check for me, which I believe is acrobatics.
It was nearly the 20.
Okay, good. You actually successfully throw yourself off. Now I do need one more check from you. A climb check to successfully grab onto the, as you call them, creepers.
Oh dear. Armor doesn't work so well with climb. It's just a fat -3 from this crappy studded armor that Scott gave me.
Is it really a -3 ACP?
Yeah. There's no reason why it would be a -3 otherwise. Is
I thought ACP was a -1. Are you medium
oh, it'd
load?
be encumbrance as well because the armor makes me encumbered.
Yeah, that's why. It's because of medium load. There you go. So, anyways, so unfortunately, you can use the luck roll if you want. Okay. So you jumping across to the vines, and you grab one, and then it snaps under your weight, and you grab another one, and you're sliding down the wall underneath the sheer force of the vines.
It really is a Looney Tunes episode.
It is funny because you actually are technically, by rules, allowed one more check, one more acrobatics check.
Acrobatics or
Correct. And of course you roll well on that one again. So as you go sliding down the wall and hitting the ground below, you actually are able to plan the descent well enough. Like as you're going down, like you're just grabbing onto the vines, and finally you just like free
just a
fall
slow,
off.
so I'm not gaining momentum.
Well, you do that at first, but then like right when you're about 10 feet above the ground, you just start the free fall, but you kind of just plot your fall. You're landing just well enough that as you hit it, you tumble to the side. You land completely prone and flat, and that hurt. But you absorb the impact of the fall, so you don't take the d6 damage.
Nice.
Back up top, one, you had seen Valorant getting dragged and trying to pull himself free, but maybe tangled himself up worse. How did you intend to help him?
Can I just chop the vines around his feet?
Sure.
Or wherever he's tangled.
Sure, so you're gonna kind of running over there with the axe and just try, like, as you're running alongside, because it's not going quickly, which probably is worse. And you're gonna come running alongside and try to chop the vines that are holding him.
I want to chop the ones up that are a little further away from his feet or whatever. So.
You mean you want to accidentally level? Come on. But what if you're all one, buddy?
I mean, it would be payback.
Roll me a strength check to do this, sir.
I will. I will let you know. You can literally one-shot me, easily. Apparently.
Unfortunately, while you were able to cut a bunch of vines, it's not that you weren't successful. You were. You just weren't able to cut the ones. As my dog opened the door. Hi, puppy. You weren't able to cut the ones that actually release him enough. He comes to the lip, to the edge. You have two options at this point. One, though one of them will require a check. You let him fall, or you try to grab out and hold on to him, and maybe you'll save him. Maybe it'll take you with him.
If we get a party wipe to a fucking fall.
I mean, I'd try and grab it.
Okay. So you try to reach out and grab at him. Once again, a reflex, same as before. Hi, puppy. Valorant, you see him reach out and grab at you, misses your hands, grabs onto like the tip of your boot for just a moment, but it slips free. The sheer weight of everything. It's probably a good thing you failed that check because at least now there's no chance of you falling. And Valorant, you're taken down, slumped down with just the sheer weight of this thing dropping down with you. We have to
land softly on the vines. You're fine.
We have to roll something for you, sir, and I'm afraid to roll it, but here it goes. Oy.
Instant death.
Oh, okay, that's not so bad. How many temp HP did you have left?
Oh, I'm dead. That's minus. I'm minus
No,
5.
it has to exceed your con
Yes.
for you to die.
Yes. So.
Okay. Well, I'm minus 5.
Yes, and so you're minus 5, which is bad. All right, it's very
no,
bad.
it's not Jason again. We don't have any kids.
Ugh.
Not again.
So you drop down, and it's just the hit to the ground below, the slump, and the extra vines falling on top of you as well, kind of made it from like it's a 20-foot tall fall, just boof, and that hurt. But and you're unconscious. The others just see you hit with that sickening crack. One more check we have to make for this danger to be over, if it is over. Rayron. A lot of vines dropping down on top of your head from where you are. I need one more reflex save from you, sir. And you're able to step out of the way of almost all of them. It's DC 12. You're able to step out of the way of all of them.
Baron's corpse just dunk.
Just like a couple of vines like hit you here and there, but nothing that hurts. You know what I mean? You're able to avoid the mass of it. Okay, so you down below and standing now. One up above. Also standing, can see each other with ease, and Val is on the ground. Who does
You
what?
see like a arm and a leg sticking out of the pile of vines, twitching.
Can I attempt to stabilize him without a medicine kit?
Absolutely you can. It's a DC 15 heal check to stabilize. If you don't have magics that can just do it.
I don't have magics that can just do it, I believe. So I
Can
will
I make my way down as well?
run up and attempt that.
That many mage armor's popped off now because I went unconscious. It's a potion though.
1 second. What was your question again, sir?
Damn.
Jeez.
Good use of the luck.
Okay. And so you go rushing over to him, drop down, you see what's going on. It's not that he's so injured that he might die. It's that the vines have literally wrapped around his throat and are cutting off all air to his lungs. You're able to take them and start pulling them off. Realize that one, and you're tugging and you're pulling at it, but you can't remove it. It's actually just turning his face more and more purple. You're now applying pressure to the other side as well. So you pull out your dagger, and maybe you nicked him once or twice. Sure, that doesn't matter. You cut free the vine and you can see his lungs fill with air, and he's fine again, even if he's not conscious because of the concussion that he just suffered. He's breathing at least. He's going to survive. Oh.
Fucking hell.
Oh, my apologies. It's actually DC 10 Constitution check to stabilize yourself. Otherwise, it's a they can make a heal check to stabilize you. Otherwise, you just lose a health point every round. So, but luckily you're good. So you can stabilize yourself as well.
Oh,
Okay.
I was just like, panic mode engage. I'm sorry, what? I have to roll?
No, you're good. You're good. He's stabilized you. I was just double checking the ruling on it. All right, cool. Awesome. So he's there. So then you actually watch this one. You see him rush over there. You see him do all the work from where you are, and he's fine. Are you just gonna drop like superhero landing?
Nah, I'm gonna get the rope, slide down.
Yep.
Yeah, the rope that we pulled up, just put it back down again.
Still anchored. Just slide it down there and are able to start lowering yourself down below.
Yep.
That's unlike Valorant before. You have to make a DC 10 climb check.
Oh.
Unlike
It's so funny. Don't do it. Oh. I was like, oh god, if you fall off this. And...
It looked like 1, 4, 6, 8, 14.
All right, beautiful. You easily climb down and are down below with the two of them. He is still unconscious. The two of you are conscious, and so on.
So I just walk over to Valorant and I kind of kneel down next to him. And I look at him and I just let out a massively long sigh. And then I get my cure moderate out and pour it down his throat.
I think you have to roll it. I don't know how much it is.
You say moderate 2d8 plus 3.
At minimum, will get me to 0.
Okay, so how do I roll it again?
Slash roll 2d8 plus 3. Though maybe I'll make a macro for healing potions to make things easier for you guys in the future.
There's I didn't add the plus 3 on. So
Holy
it's an
hell.
extra 3 on top of that.
Geez, 16 and you're at what, -5?
Yeah, I'm very full.
Yeah, you're like, if Over the Top existed, you would be. Wow, that was a really good potion.
Does it feel
So
like
as you come into, you just see like one's face just kind of. He's got your head in one hand, he's got this potion in the other, and he's looking at you. And he just says, "You're lucky Vrogar watches over you." That's it.
Don't know which fight you were watching.
The one where you're not dead.
No, he wouldn't actually say that. He would just thank you.
Okay. What do the two of you do at this point? The three of you, sorry. You're still alive somehow.
I'm gonna have a look around the room.
So you guys start...
Important question. You never answered. Because the mage armor was a potion, is it still running?
Yeah. Mage armor lasts for 8 hours, correct?
Okay, yeah, I just didn't know if it was knocked off because of unconsciousness.
No. Yep, lasts for 8 hours, I'm almost positive. So you're good to go there. So, you go looking around the room, as you had just said, and what you see is this room right here, as I was describing beforehand, it is completely, all the furniture inside here is completely rotted away. The place feels as abandoned as it, as you expected it to be when you had come down. Across the room, you can see that there are 3 doors that come off of it. One of them seems to lead out towards the outer wall, for wherever that goes. Another one leads inwards in towards the rest of the keep. And then the last one leads inwards through another doorway, another door. Though honestly, that third one, on closer inspection, because your character is just really good at perception and whatnot, on closer inspection, it looks like at one point in time, this may have been a relatively easily concealable door. It's very, very low profile. It is designed in the stone in a very funky way that it probably was at one point in time a kind of concealable door. And then, going over there and looking a little bit closer, you can see that with the rotted tapestry, that's like more or less just goop at this point, that's on the ground in front of it. It very likely had literally a tapestry covering up whatever the door was. But not so much like it requires a secret latch or button pressing or blah, blah. You know what I mean?
So I'm gonna make my way to that door.
Sure. You go over to that door first. So you make your way over to that door, and the opening of it is a little funky. You kind of have to just grab like the latch that's there, get a little profile, and grab it and pull it open towards you. When you do pull it open, there we go. Sorry, just looking at something. When you do pull it open and you look inside, you can see that in here it looks as though it could have been maybe at some point a bit of like a treasure hold or a storage room of things of value, but you can clearly tell that it has been ransacked through and through. Everything inside there has been taken or broken, etc. Even just like a quick sift. Feel free to roll it.
That means this thing moved in recently, meaning it's not the curse we needed to break. Lovely.
It's a -5.
Yep, that's a beautiful roll though. So a quick sift tells you that the room itself, no coins were left out in the open, etc., etc., etc. However, that's actually a really, really, really good sift roll. What you do also find inside there is inside this small room does have a bit of a secret cache. As a matter of fact, there's an area where there's a 3-brick block. Most of the bricks are, of course, individual bricks that are like slated stones, that are slated to build the castle. There's actually an area like a 3-brick block that are all together, that are loose. So you can notice this with your sift. You can kind of go over and try to wiggle it free with your fingers and pull that out to reveal the cache underneath. Do you?
Ooh.
Yes.
Okay.
Not really a question.
So when you pull it out, what you end up finding underneath is actually a very ornate-looking dagger. It's a beautiful-looking dagger sitting inside an even more ornate-looking scabbard or sheath for it. This thing is clearly of very high quality. The scabbard itself even has some gems, very small and rough cut, but gems that are inlaid into the scabbard. The gems being garnet and emeralds that are like inlaid, so it gives us like deep red and green kind of look. The scabbard itself, maybe a bit ostentatious, looks as though it's probably not solid gold. If you were to guess, probably gold plated, but it definitely looks very fancy. There's a good amount of decay that's happening around this thing, but the thing seems to be holding up fairly well because luckily gold doesn't rust, so that's a good news, and gems certainly don't. And then also inside the cache, along with that, you find I'm going to say the word purse, but it's just too rotted. You have to kind of like scoop out the coins that actually have in it. Are you ready for this one? Because it's going to be an unusual one for you guys. It actually has in it 25 electrum.
Okay. What's electrum?
1 electrum is worth 5 silver. So it's like a half a gold coin.
Couldn't even give us a nice divisible by 3 amount.
Nope. 25 electrum are sitting in there.
Are we happy to split that, guys?
Well, I mean, do you know it's there? Vrogar didn't tell you it was there.
He has to
Oh, Vrogar, am I
Oh, that's
sweet?
fair enough. Yeah, that's
Cool.
fair enough.
I assume
So
you're
what was
casting...
it, 25?
Correct. I assume your casting Sift is like the will of Vrogar.
Yeah. Everything is the will of Vrogar.
125 silver card. 125 silver because it's 5 silver each, right? So 5 times 25, 125.
Okay, and how many silver are in gold?
10.
10.
So so it's just 25 electrum.
25 electrum.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna just pocket like 20 and walk out.
Oh, I got these 5 electrum coins.
Yeah, I'm gonna be like, what are these?
I mean,
Well, I would actually know what electrum is. I assume.
You would, yes.
Yeah, and so there's the 25 electrum and the ornate dagger.
Correct.
Alright, so I come out of the room and I just probably hand to Rayron. I just hand out the 5 electrum, and be like, there's some electrum in there, and also I found this dagger. Can either of you tell me if it's magical?
yes. Just give me a second. He does the whoop. Wah.
Okay, and you spend a minute searching it. Could you roll me? Oh, yeah. My apologies. Trying to see if it detects as magic. You actually do detect magic coming from the thing, but on further inspection, pulling the actual dagger out of the ornate sheath that it's set in, you actually notice that the dagger itself is not magic. In fact, it's the sheath that has a slight degree of magic. Can you roll a spellcraft check for me? Because you can do that in a minute because of your ability, I believe.
Yes. Ooh.
Sexy. So looking at the sheath, you can actually see that the sheath itself is enchanted with the type of magic. It's usable 3 times per day. Usable as either a swift action or as part of drawing your blade from it. And what it does is it actually confers onto the blade for 1 minute +4 to confirm critical hits. So if you have a chance to confirm a critical hit, it adds +4 to that confirmation roll.
Nice.
Yeah.
Damn. I would relay that in somehow in-universe terms. this sheath appears to make the dagger a little more deadly at least 3 times a day. When you're drawing, it has... Hands it back.
One just looks at it and he says, "You don't have a dagger, do you?"
Yes.
No, I do not.
And you're not very deadly either, so this seems perfect.
Yeah, so I just hand it back.
Oh, thank you. He's gonna try and fit the holster on somewhere on a belt. Actually, can I use this now that I've got detect magic up? Can I use this time to try and detect magic that belt again?
No. You have to gain a level at this point because you've already failed so
really?
hard.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, with detect magic, is that a radius as well?
It is, yes, sir. Absolutely, it is.
Well, then you would detect some type of magic coming from in my bag as well.
Yes, I think we've. I think he's noticed that once before, but dismissed it mostly. So he knows it's there, but he's just not going to ask about it yet.
Yeah.
And for whoever's taking that scabbard, it is technically a +4 enhancement bonus to confirm critical hits when you use that ability. Okay. Not to be confused with, like, say, I think it's like a circumstance bonus for the critical focus feat or whatever it is. So, cool. So you grab that. As for the electrum pieces, you guys are actually able to roll a history check on electrum pieces. Or, knowledge local won't really apply. Be a history check.
Knowledge history, you say?
His story. Yep.
Knowledge history, you say? Knowledge history.
Ooh. That's a sexy one, boyo. So, looking at the electrum pieces, you know that in most realms, electrum bears the weight of 5 silver coin, so or half a gold. They are literally, have nicknames to them, like, half coin and stuff like that, just because that's all they carry for significance. However, you do know that specifically in human lands that reside where, like, the 2 older kingdoms that stretch across this region, this continent, for like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years. That in those areas, they have much more significance. They were printed back then. They have historical value, so on and so forth. So if you actually hold on to these coins for when you are inside places like Tasiondale or the Dale Lands, they actually carry significantly more weight, actually 10 times the weight, being worth 5 gold each. So in most lands, it's worth only about half a gold. Otherwise, it's 5 gold. It's a factor of 10, right? So
Nice.
yeah, but most people don't know this, so it's not like you can. It's not like you could trade somebody that's going that direction and be like, "Oh, you want to just give me coin for this?" Yeah. Most people don't know it.
Yeah, I will relay this information saying that we may want to hang on to those. Those may be useful later.
And looking specifically at the ones that are here, you can see that the mint on the 5 coins that he put before you, the mint of these coins are actually for a kingdom that is no longer in existence, because you swear you've seen this mint before, but you can't place what it is, even with your 27. Just kind of like one of those lost in history sort of things. You can't quite place where it is, but you believe it's the peoples of Tasiondale. This is one of the societies that either originated from them, broke off from them, joined into them, whatever it was at some point in time. So, but it should work for both countries.
We may want to take these to Tasiondale at some point. Just putting that out there. Okay. Let me get back to looking around and also fixing up that thing and trying to add that thing.
Perhaps we should be careful about disturbing anything else here. Rarin's clutching his side. He's like covered in like laceration whip marks, and is freely bleeding from some of them, and he's clearly like guarding his left side, which you could presume is from some sort of impact. We don't necessarily want to disturb anything else.
One kind of sidles up next to you and he kind of elbows you a bit and he goes, "That was glorious. Well done."
Thank you. I don't really know how I managed it. Just managed to stop it moving just before, well, obviously, you guys then dropped by. I wouldn't want to tangle with more of them.
No.
Tangle?
Oh. He's like, yes, that would be bad. Oh.
So
laughs
we'll
a
be
bit.
taking applications for new PCs next week.
he laughs and then grimaces and holds his side.
It takes one a second, but then he just starts like laughing really loudly. Like one of those belly laughs.
Oh, awesome. So you guys are in a bit of pain. In this initial room, you've obviously looked through the one door, but not the other two. The one goes to the outer wall, the other one that goes further into the keep itself. The sun is setting. You do still have a bit more light above. I would say another half hour or so before dusk. You can either choose to continue pushing on, or kind of like giving up as like calling it quits here. There is a rope dangling from the ceiling, so you can try to rest up above, or maybe finish securing this room, or maybe continue traveling. I'm speaking a lot and stalling. How dare you? Who do you attack? Oh, one, he comes for you.
This is him going in the air. That's all.
He saw the coin dangling from your pocket.
I was trying to edit. Sorry.
I just swing my battle axe backwards to put it away, and it just clips Valorant a little bit.
What was that? Oh. It's funny.
Sorry. This I was trying to figure out how to do the enhancement thing.
You're fine. So what do you guys want to do? Press on a little bit further?
I would say so.
Okay. So the door that goes to the outer wall, the door that goes to the inner wall. What were we saying, Tony?
While it's light, I think we should go to the outer wall.
So we would probably want Raven in the middle, so that if something comes from behind, I'll get hit. If something comes from the front, one will get hit.
Sure.
Because Raven ain't looking good.
So would you guys make your way out to the outer wall door and try to get there? The door at first is jammed, just completely jammed, just weathering and abused. You'd think that maybe you could just rip the door open, but honestly, it is really, really, really jammed. It's bad. So you're gonna have to like put a little bit of effort to make that happen there, sir. And we know who it is that's gonna be doing the pulling.
Yeah, one looks to Rayron and says, "Go ahead." And then he looks at probably Rayron's face and he goes, "Oh, acid the hinges, will you?"
I could, yes, sure. He, will fire a couple globules.
Globules. And he does. He burns the hinges considerably, which weakens the door enough that you think it'd be an easier time for you to try to rip it off of those hinges there. Make me a strength check.
Oh,
What a great time for a nat 20.
Yeah, we both used our nat 20s in like the worst time.
So you easily pull this thing off of the hinges, like literally rip them off of the hinges. There is no more door. But you believe that it's the door still intact enough. You can kind of jam it back into place. You have to keep pulling it off each time, but you'll be able to jam it back into place to shut it if you need to. Almost making it difficult for others to come through as well if they wanted to. When you pull the door off the hinges and settle to the side and reveal the room on the other side, you can see, much like the castle you were at beforehand, this is kind of like an antechamber leading out onto a small balcony. Though when I say small balcony, I mean very small. We're talking about 5 feet in its depth, in like a semicircle around. The balcony that I'm referring to, though, the chamber that I'm referring to is almost all windows around. At one point in time, maybe there was glass here, but the plants have grown through it. The weather has broken them, so on and so forth. There's a bunch of vines that grow inside here. You can see that the balcony is maybe a comfortable place to enjoy a beautiful day. This chamber, and you can get to the balcony on the other side. I just want to check something really quickly. 1 second, boyos. Where is this? So what do you guys do as soon as you come walking into this room?
Before we say, is it going out like onto the balcony? Is that what we're doing?
No, well, the door opens up into the room, kind of like an antechamber to the balcony itself.
Okay. I'm gonna look around the room and see if there's any threats around. Would be great.
Sure, you can roll me your perception check, sir.
I'm gonna do detect magic and also look around.
Sure.
Oop.
Okay, so looking around the room for each one of you, it's actually while one of them is detecting magic and trying to see if there's magic about, you're not seeing anything. Looking to see if there's any traps or anything like that, or trying to take up what that is. One is looking about and also doesn't have anything catch his eye. Rayron, however, because I also rolled a secret perception check. Rayron, however, you come walking in and like you're looking about as well and taking in the sight and thinking, it's a nice room, whatever. But like your eye just keeps going back towards those vines. And you look around and you're just like, maybe just paranoid because you were literally just amongst them. But your eye just keeps going back towards those vines. You just get this like gut feeling. And then at one point in time, when you see Valorant, who's just kind of like, oh, let me look over in this corner. I thought I saw something. Maybe it was just dust. You almost swear you see one of those vines are kind of like starting to creep slowly towards Valorant.
Guys, these vines are moving too.
Fucking God.
Retreat towards the door.
Yep. Out.
Away, go away.
You guys go back towards the door, and like as you're backing away and looking after it, it holds perfectly still. Maybe you saw nothing. Maybe you're just being paranoid. Maybe you weren't. But you believe,
Dagger.
you're pretty sure you just saw the thing reaching at, oh my god, my chair's flopping on me. Valorant, there we go. About to get grabbed. You're almost positive it is like 2 bricks further along than it was before.
I'm sure I saw it move. Maybe... how far away would we be? Like, if we were at the doorway that we came in, that one tore the door off, how far away would that vine be?
From the vine that is the closest to you, about 15 feet from the vine that's closest, because they're growing in from outside the window.
Well, there's one way to check. Are you ready with that door, one?
Yep.
Raren would finger gun, fire a globule of acid at the closest vine.
I like the idea of water pistoling it.
I love the fact that you just fired acid over in that direction and missed.
It's an inanimate object, in which case it missed, which means it's not an inanimate object, it's one of those creatures.
You just rolled garbage, man. That's all. You're just a garbage human.
We both just look at him.
So you literally chose to throw acid in that direction, and it's just that the acid sprays and hits all around, but doesn't hit the vine itself. Do you want to try again? You can literally just roll again.
Look, that thing hit me over the head several times, all right? I'm not quite seeing straight. I'm really not seeing straight.
This time you throw acid, and honestly, it's one of those things where you're saying that, I'm really not seeing straight, as you like throw the spell again, and this time it just goes flying wildly, and maybe it's a good idea for you to not engage in combat. Clearly you... Val?
I mean, I can't do anything to it. It seemed to shrug off even my strongest as well.
Well, I'm going to stop throwing acid around now, before I end up hitting someone with it.
Good idea.
One looks at you, and once again, when you think about the door we tried to get through for ages, he said it to you then, he turns and says it to you now. He says, "Third time's the charm."
Guidance.
I will guidance you too.
That's actually awesome.
I keep forgetting I have that.
Yeah.
One last try then. He lines up, takes a deep breath.
91.
Oh my god.
With the guidance.
Guidance gives you a +1, so you're an 8. It's worse than your first roll. And it's honestly, it's one of those things where it's like... And the acid just unfortunately just goes spraying everywhere. And you're realizing you're not the one that fell the huge gap and hit your head very hard, but you're still feeling it in your side and ribs and whatnot.
Well,
Can I see that pointing to your crossbow?
What I can say is that it's clearly dodging.
Can I see that? Just look. Can I have your crossbow for a second?
I'm not sure that I would trust you with a crossbow. It's just, this thing saved my life. Rather attached to it.
This is a valid theory, and I also will take out my heavy crossbow.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, good.
I offer it to Valorant
Okay, heavy
if he
crossbow?
wants it, or I'll take it, whatever.
Does this work in off dexterity?
You're not trained.
I'm not trained in heavy crossbow. No, I'm not.
Wait. So sorcerer? I think sorcerer can use crossbow, can't they?
A heavy crossbow? It's martial.
Oh no, never mind.
Yeah, not a heavy crossbow. So I see that. That was a little big for me.
That's what
I'm
you
just
said.
gonna try. I'm just gonna try a ray of frost at it, just in case it does anything. It's the +1 to hit as well.
I imagine the other two are also firing their crossbows at the same time.
I guidance myself too.
No, I'm not firing my crossbow. I've learnt my lesson.
Yeah. Oh my god, we got it.
So
It's
One
just
says-
inanimate objects.
one says it's clearly dodging.
Yeah.
And then I miss as well. Well, that's peculiar.
This is a very dexterous plant.
Maybe you should hit it with your axe.
Maybe you should hit it with your sword.
I would, but my swinging arm is, after that beating I took.
I'm gonna move dancing light down to the vine and just above the vine.
Mm,
Yeah, just around it. Does it do anything? Does it react?
nope.
dismiss it.
One size draws his battle axe and walks cautiously over to where he's, in the next square over, and
Just don't let it grab you.
will try and hit it.
You guys are slowly making your way up, and
I
No, no, no.
We ain't
no.
well, you are slowly making your way up. Could all of you roll me perception checks, please?
Oh my god, this is gonna be it's not a thing.
My
It's
favorite
like-
thing. My favorite thing there was you guys are whoa, 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 whoa. Only one.
No, we
Oh
ain't
no, we
moving
both see
fucking-
it, but he doesn't.
As he's moving up towards the thing, you guys are watching very, very, very carefully, trying to see if if this thing is moving. And so you're creeping up and raising your axe and getting ready, when all of a sudden it starts to move very quickly. You can roll me initiative there, boys.
Okay, quick question: how do I add the enhancement to the dagger thing? Like in terms of in Roll20.
Oh,
Where you have dagger, click the little cog where it has a plus. Just add +4. or
but it's
whatever.
+4 to confirm crit.
Oh, that's true.
yeah. I couldn't see a place that was just.
There was a
that.
way. There was a way to do that. In this, I just don't recall how. Enhanced dagger, plus
me
versus
roll
AC,
initiative while
crit
you do
multiplier, bonus dice, no crit, no. Fire bonus dice, no crit multiplier. There's a way to do it. You just have to look it up later on.
Okay, well I've just written.
Or
+4.
just yeah, exactly. I just clicked so if you do like this right here, it says it on the description below. Oh wait, I thought I just
Wait.
checked the description.
It is in fact checked.
That's right.
Maybe
try.
it's because Scott rolled it.
There you go.
Yeah.
So that way we'll just know to add it mentally. It's just a 4. This is a +4 for the confirm roll. Nothing crazy. All right. So one, actually, you are able to go first. One and Valorant, both of you guys are able to go first. So one, you can choose to attack if you'd like, or you can turn hightail.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna try and get out of the room and shove that door back in place.
Absolutely. You can turn, skip out of the room as soon as you come across through the threshold to the other side. You can throw your axe to the ground and whip around and grab the door and just start shoving it into place. I'm going to need a strength check from you because you can act at the same time, Valorant. Do you want to assist him on this, or are you going to do something else?
Oh, to shut the door. You know what? I will assist him. I can use a swift action to pull out the dagger, and I will assist him.
That's going to give you a +2, sir. Okay. He gave you a +2, which is a 9. And you had already said you're casting guidance as you went in. It's been less than a minute, so the guidance would apply here instead of wherever it was going to. So that's actually a 10. Do you want to use luck, or do you think a 10 is good enough to slam that door?
I don't know if we should use luck or not.
No, we should save it for if a PC
Yeah, I agree.
dies or something like that.
Okay, so you successfully jam the door shut. So you come running through the, boo, and then you're just smashing it with your hands up above, while Valorant's kicking it, heel kicking it down below, and the two of you guys are just jamming this thing in its corners. So you can feel the whip cracking against the door, and it does crack for a bit. It's one of those moments where everybody grabs up their weapons and backs up slowly, and everybody's prepared. And what did we do? We awoke in the, and then it just gets quiet. And it falls silent.
So, we're about to have vines pop through a different entrance, right?
Okay, so to give you an idea, the vine that we were all looking at, where was it coming from?
It was outside the window and growing down and into the window.
Just gonna turn around and look at the big hole in the roof.
Nothing. Wait. Nothing.
Fuck.
One just
You
turns
actually
and
hear
stares
Aaron
at
say that.
Raven.
Well, it moved.
That leaves one more door outside of this large chamber that you guys are in.
Be very careful with this one.
Try the other door, I suppose.
See any vines? Just close it. Don't even.
Well, one sits down and pulls out a ration and says, "Go on."
What? Right in front of that? He like motions to the door.
The other door.
Oh, you want me to?
Yeah.
Oh well, I haven't really got full use of my left arm. You know
One
what?
just says, I'm a bit hungry.
Yeah, that's fair enough. We were in quite the death-defying combat. Maybe
Now Val's face just like drops as he sees where this conversation is going.
maybe I ought to have a spot of lunch as well. Help me repair all that damage. He glances at Baron, and then sits down next to one. Pulls out a ration. Looks expectantly.
I will turn the doorknob. Is it locked? I won't open it yet, but
You tried to turn the it's not so much a knob as it is like a latch. So you try to lift the latch, and as you lift the latch, like it just breaks off at the base. Not that the metal breaks, so it certainly is rusted, but literally the bit of wood that was like kind of bolted into just kind of like rips out, and you're like,
oh well, can't open the door. Look at that, it's broken.
Luckily, it's a
One
push.
yells out, I didn't expect such strength from you, Baron. Breaking doors.
Nothing to worry about, really. You just tore that thing apart. You may as well just take the door off as well. Sage nod.
I see the way you kicked that other door back into place. Well done.
Oh dear.
Probably use that rusty piece of metal to just lever it open with that amount of strength.
he's gonna do the thing where he walks up and tries to push on the door a little bit. Actually, can I see through the hole?
So, oh my god! It very, very much get like a tally kind of moment or whatever his name is, where he's like, huh, and he kind of goes over and he's just like, instead of opening it, he gets an idea, and just like bends and like looks through the hole to see if he can see on the inside.
There's a giant eye.
A big like blink. No. So you go looking through.
Isn't that part in the horror movie where you see the door just crumple and he's gone? Like,
It's a mimic door.
You guys are too injured. You guys are too injured for a mimic door right now. So you go looking into the thing. Can you make me a perception check? Just because it's a very small hole. It's getting dark out. There's only so much light inside there.
Dim light, I'm better at it.
Better than humans. Still not great.
That's fair, yeah.
Excuse me.
Just to add the suspense.
Stay hydrated, kids.
No. Green almond went sideways in there. That's fine. So, anyways, my apologies. So the you are looking through the door and you're like squinting, trying to see because again it's just very, very, very dim in there, and so you're really trying to catch sight. And it looks like this goes out into like the hallway, like the grand hallway. You believe you actually see the stairs going down. You believe you see that, though it's hard to tell with where you are.
Well, this looks like it might be the way down. I don't see anything yet. He's gonna just do the thing where you shuffle to either side, just try and like look through as far as you can through the hole.
Well, perhaps you should try the door then.
I'm gonna try and very carefully open the door. Can I push it? Does it open?
Yeah, it is a push door, and when you start pushing at it, it is in fact going to open to your pushing, and so it starts to slide open.
Very slowly, and I'm looking as I go.
Oh, sorry. My ear. So you start doing exactly that, pushing it open, trying to be very, very, very careful. And as you push it open, it starts to have this like loud creaking, screeching noise.
Oh, no.
Like,
It's one of the things where you stop and you try and move it a bit more, it's even louder.
Yep.
And you stop again.
it's one of those ones where you realize if you had just pushed it open quickly from the beginning, it would have been like a. But instead, it's just exaggerated and worse and sending shivers down your spine. But you do eventually get the thing pushed all the way open.
Do I see anything in the room?
It is, like I said, a hallway. It is dim in here, but you can see well enough. So as you go looking about, you can see again that there is definitely the staircase that's in front of you. But most importantly, you can see that the whole place is just where there must have been a grand portrait at some point in time. The frame is completely like rusted over or whatever, and the actual picture inside is completely rotted out and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But most importantly, what you notice while you after you open the door and you start to like make a step or two out into the hallway and start looking and seeing that there are other rooms, like the way it looks like the staircase came as you come up from the grand stairs to this floor is it actually came up, and the whole middle area is almost like a view looking down, like a balcony looking down to the grand room below. But the walkway that aligns the walls has a whole bunch of rooms coming off of it. If any of you guys ever played Assassin's Creed 2, you know the main manor there, how that kind of looked. So you go up the grand stairs, and there's like a walkway that runs along the path that goes into rooms. You happen to be one of those rooms. As you go stepping out towards, closer, trying to get a glance, maybe look down the balcony itself, you're actually going to, much to your surprise, hear a voice that is very, very close. You hear, you there. And like, you turn to see this very impressive form standing to your side. I mean, they are not small in size by any stretch of the imagination, maybe 6'4", standing very near to where you are, about 15 feet or so from where you are, facing you and clearly talking to you. You there.
I presume we don't hear this because it's another ghost.
You definitely hear it, Valorant. The other two, you heard something as well. Valorant?
Hello?
You,
Just this little... Hello?
so you turn, you say hello. He takes 3 steps forward and says, hello.
I am Valran. Who might you be? Just like hoping beyond hope that he can negotiate. And also, where is his fucking friends? Because he's talking loudly.
Yep, and you guys can see that clearly he's talking that what you had heard before, and it's clearly a voice, and clearly Valorant is having a conversation with it now. When you say that, he says, what is it, my name's Valorant, and you are something along those lines. He goes,
Yeah.
then you do not want to attack. Good. Perhaps then it is just your defenses. Could you call them off?
Yeah, at this stage, while that's happening too, one would have got to his feet, taken out his axe, and been like, look over at Rayron.
Yep,
If
we're
I see-
going. We're going.
Yes, we do not want to attack, I would say very loudly. If you're talking about the vines, they are not ours.
Vines, he says, questioning, and he takes another several steps closer. He's only about 8 feet, 9 feet away from you now. And again, he's just massive in size, standing like 6'6" or so. But when you look at him, you can see that his skin tone is this like dull grayish color, almost like almost like a granite or a marble, but like a gray look to it, right? He has these markings on him. No, they're not markings. It's a part of its skin itself. It is brilliant in color, almost like an emerald or some other brilliant green stone. Not so light or bright in color as a peridot, but definitely like a green stone. He says, "Not vines, the little beasts. They attack from the shadows, and the shadows are growing as the night falls."
Hello there.
And more come out, and he says, "I am not here to fight you. I do not come to invade your castle. I come trying to seek a way that we can come to terms to release the rest."
Who's your friend, Valoran?
Uh, I I do not know. This is not our keep. We just arrived. If we were looking to disable defenses anyway, though, if we can help.
I passed by many traps getting in here. I did not know that someone else had stepped over them before. The ground looks rather undisturbed.
Yes, we're very good at that, aren't we, Valoran?
Yes. he's about to just. Oh, yes. Where are these creatures? What should we look out for? And how can we help in disabling them?
The creatures, they attack in the night. More like the shadow, as it has been day until... And he looks past you, and you can see that the room is even dimmer than what it was as you guys had sat down and he started fiddling with the door. It seems as though the darkness is growing quicker. I don't know where might be safe, but it's certainly not safe in here, and it is certainly even less so out there.
I'm sorry.
Out where?
Outside of the castle. Were you not attacked traveling just through the woods?
One says no. They must have seen me and decided not to attack.
He looks at you because clearly you're meant to make yourself sound impressive, and he thinks I
can roll a bluff if you want.
Or intimidation actually.
Yeah, sure. I'll roll intimidate. Let's see.
Look, every time he walks and steps a little closer, oh my god!
I love the fact that you rolled a natty 1. Oh, you can't just take a 20. That's funny. You rolled a natty 1 and you took an 11. So he looks at you and he can see clearly that you're not some schmuck. You clearly are impressive. Maybe you would scare a lesser man. But this is not a typical man, let alone a lesser one. And so he looks at you and says, perhaps it was wise because of your numbers, but that did not stop them from attacking the caravan. Though none of them are dead as of yet, I believe they certainly will not be surviving long. This is not your keep, and things do not seem to harm you as you travel through the woods. Perhaps then I may ask that you are willing to aid me and those that I happen to be traveling with. Perhaps you can help release them from the vines that hold them.
Perhaps you should tell us how before it gets too dark.
Tell you how what?
To disable these things.
I do not know. I was coming into the keep to speak with its master, to ask it to cease its actions. It seems this keep has no master.
Maybe we could make your acquaintance first. I'm afraid I don't know who you are, or what you are, or what your caravan is, or whether or not it would be a good idea to aid you.
I suppose proper introductions are A good idea. My name is Keithul. I am not of these lands, but I am traveling through them with a caravan that I happened to come across on my travels. I traveled with them for nearly 4 days' time when we were attacked by vines, grabbed the wheels and ripped them off the wagons, grabbed the wagons and pulled them inwards, and now they're pinned. The people are hiding within or underneath the wagons for their safety. I was able to walk past them. The vines did not grab at me, perhaps because of my nature. I do not know, but they did not grab at me. When I got to the keep, there were traps. Old. Goblin, maybe. I do not know. I thought maybe this was a goblin keep, or something else. I see this one. Slowly gestures towards Valoran and says, does not look like a goblin, but maybe master of the keep is not.
So the little ones you talk of that writhe in the shadows are the vines?
Ah, those. Not vines. Maybe once were. More like twigs. I've not inspected one enough to see if they are all one branch, or many little ones together to make what looks like a twig. A twig with a face. Twisted. Awful. They avoided the light. And did not see if they entered the light. Don't know what happens if they do. But they avoided it. And they attacked at me as I made my way through the keep, trying to keep the light of the broken ceiling here and there between myself and them. Occasionally, and he hoists up his weapon that he has in his hand, which is a quarterstaff, giving them a good whack if need be.
Can I start looking for stuff to make fire while they're talking?
I will pull out the sun rod. I won't activate it. I have this should we need it. It creates a vast amount of light for. I'm actually going to ping the thing because I would know, but I don't know.
I thought it was 6
8 hours?
hours. Yeah. Cool. So that pop, so that lights up. The light.
No, I haven't popped it yet.
Oh, okay.
I can use it if we need to create light.
I don't know if torchlight will have the same effect. I don't know.
Yeah,
Maybe.
that's
When he
not
shrugs, it's almost like rocks moving. What were you saying?
It's not torchlight.
Mhm.
It's sun rod light. I presume there's some difference, Valorant.
I would know. Is it actually magical or is it alchemical?
Is it technically it's alchemical, but that's fine.
Okay, so yeah, I would say, unfortunately, it is not a magical reaction. It is alchemical, so it is just bright light, torchlight.
Well, my friends and I have already dealt with some of these vines. We are capable of doing so again. However, it's not an easy task. He motions to like some of the cuts and whatnot. I am not in a fit state to fight anything right now.
I'm sorry that has happened to you. Please. And he actually steps forward, saying some words and reaching out to you. You heal 10 health points. Wait, plus 5? Wait, plus 5 is too much. That it's supposed to be, sorry, not 10, 7 health points.
I mean, that's still 1 full, isn't it?
That's significant.
Yeah, that is insane.
Thank you, Keithel. That is much better.
He nods. Why does it say cast level 5? That's crazy.
Good thing we didn't fight this guy. Just like, blap, 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 party wipe. Okay. So,
I believe there's only one matter, really, which is compensation.
Are you asking me to pay you for a good deed?
Not necessarily pay us, this is transactional. You have obviously just done me a good deed, and so I am willing to do one for you. My friends, however, should also benefit from this arrangement.
It seems as though you are here to barter over the lives of innocent people captured by forces of what is likely to be evil.
you just see behind him just
Are our lives not innocent as well?
Nobody is questioning whether or not you're innocent, just that innocence equals coin for you. I don't have coin, just disappointment. I will speak to the leaders of the caravan after things are done. I'm sure they'd be willing to compensate you for your actions.
Baron was going to speak up, and then he's like, okay, no, well, I'll just leave that there. I won't make it worse.
In that case, I say we help Keithel.
I agree. If anything, if we can get a camp going with multiple people, it could improve our odds when it comes to whatever these things are that are in the shadows.
So, since you are working underneath my payments, does this mean that you are my employees and do as I say?
I believe you are not the one paying us, and no payment has been secured as of yet. We will assist you in this matter. I would request that you treat us with respect. That is all.
Okay, fair.
Very well then. We shall come to a unified decision. Clearly, once again looking over your shoulder at the room that's even darker now, because as you went out onto that balcony beforehand originally, it was about a half hour away from sunset. The sun is falling rapidly. Are we to camp here for the night, or will we make a dash over towards where the caravan is and stay by their side for the night?
Your friends would suffer if we didn't make the dash, correct?
They are not my friends, and I do not know exactly the state they're in or how great the danger is.
You have more experience with these creatures than we do. What would you recommend?
If by experience you mean I've whacked them with a staff and fled from them as they swarmed around me, I would recommend a location where they cannot swarm us, or numbers so great that perhaps they will back off. But we do not know what the vines are doing out there.
It seems unlikely if these creatures are made of wood, as you say, that the vines would search them out. You say they weren't attracted to you. They have definitely been attracted to all of us. We can presume they go for soft things.
Can we barricade ourselves in the hidden room thing?
The room wasn't very great in size. The three of you could have fit in there. Uncomfortable. Maybe, all three of you could even lie down in there. You ever have like three people share like a 2-person tent? Like, you can do it. It's just one of those, you don't quite have to touch, but you definitely can smell each other's heat. You know what I mean? But putting a fourth person, especially another one as large as this guy in there, that's like 3 people sharing a 1-person tent. You know what I mean? It's like, well, cuddle up, boys.
Then none of the rooms we have found so far, looking at the other two, just making sure he's not saying something he shouldn't, have been quite defensible. We should probably check quickly to see if we can find one that is.
I came from the downstairs and walked up here. I've looked in a few rooms, including gestures past the one that you guys are in. That one there, though maybe Less than an hour ago, I looked in and saw the ceiling and the vines and thought it best not to proceed and continued to the room behind me where I recently came from. And there were... He looks back slowly, his whole body turning slow, everything moving slow, almost sounds like gravel. And then looks back. The whole process takes like 7 seconds. There are more of the twigs waiting. You can see like across the area where you guys are in. The light is so dim now, but there is almost like a ray of light cutting across the path that one would use to get from the doorway at the end of the like hallway or whatever that you're in, like the balcony, not balcony, you know, that area, the balcony that overlooks down below that you're in. There's like a thin light that passes from one side to the other. He says, I don't know where's best. I'll follow your lead. Did you not come across one yourself at all?
Not yet. I'm going to use detect magic to look into that room. Can I see anything in the shadows with the detect magic?
What room?
Didn't he?
You do down a hallway.
Oh, okay. Well, down the hallway then, where he to the shadows.
So you're
I
like
think
cast
you
detect
have to
magic and
be-
walk over there. You're saying
Oh, no, it's cone-shaped illumination. Okay.
to like get close or whatever.
I wouldn't want to get too close. Do I? It's
Just kind of like
60
walk on the other side of him, sort of a thing, and then kind of glance that way to
Yeah.
focus. Gotcha. Okay. So so you do that, and you're kind of like feeling in that direction. You do not detect the presence of magic. No.
Well, either they are not there right now, or they're not magical, or they have some way of masking that. I don't know.
Like layers of
That's-
stone.
Yes. Yeah. We should quickly check the other rooms then, see if we can't.
Would the roof not suffice? These creatures are made of wood. Their climbing may be passable, but I shouldn't think it would be better than an average person's, and their chances of finding us would be less up there.
The vines would be an issue. We know that they're outside, and we know that the trees hang down over this keep.
And while these wood creatures are more active during the night, we can presume that a plant is more active during the day.
I'm going to turn to the expert. What do you think?
I think the roof is a bad idea. We can be swarmed.
If these things can pass, emerge from shadows, then that is a good point.
They
bottleneck.
emerge from the shadows. I understood they simply enjoyed shadows.
They stick to the shadows.
Okay.
Don't apparate from them.
Then
Activate the sunward.
we have a choke point on the roof. There is a hole that they would come from.
I would turn to one and I would wish to wait to the last moment. This will not last the night. So we need it when we need it.
Where is it that you wish to be then?
So we came in from the roof and made our way into like a room, and there was 3 doors. There was like the hidden door one, a door somewhere else, and the door we just walked through.
Yeah.
So why don't we make our camp in that room? One of the doors is barred. There's this door we came through, and then there's just a opening in the roof.
I'd be worried about the opening in the roof.
I don't think we're going to find anywhere secure though. There seems to be openings everywhere.
I get the feeling these things can climb. I think we want to find a room that we can bottleneck.
Then we should look quickly.
Yes.
So
There are still traps to be careful of. But we are good with those. He looks over at Rayron.
If we work quickly, we could weave a net a disguise of the vines. All we would have to do is drape it over us in the rubble and hide in the room that we slew the beast in. There are plenty of vines in there. If we were to work quickly, we would have a passable chance at weaving ourselves a sort of blanket of vines.
Turn to the Cthulhu. Do you think that would work, or do they seem to be able to see you with senses other than sight?
I did not interact with them well enough to know. I bashed them back and walked away from them.
Fair. Well, it's risk traps or try and make the net.
Either way, he says, and he once again looks over your shoulder. The light is at extremely dim. He says, it seems as though time is just about up. You guys have been speaking for a considerable amount of time.
Ooh,
Well, the
okay.
roof or hiding is the only decision that makes sense. Simply attempting to find a room by potluck chance would be risking our lives.
Okay. I guess we hide, because Valorant doesn't want to go on the roof.
Okay, so you guys go in, and your idea was to try to weave the vines in a way to be able to hide with them.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I presume they have leaves, some of the vines.
Oh, of course.
So you just braid them like.
It was a living plant, even if it's it was a creature or whatever. So you start grabbing the vines, like you just said. You start weaving them. Everybody's gonna kind of work together to do this. There used to be a skill called use rope. Not anymore.
So I actually can craft armor. So I'm gonna craft everyone a nice viney cloak.
Well, it's funny. I was gonna say I'm gonna allow for craft checks, which is intelligence or dexterity checks. You're welcome to choose for craft or dexterity. I don't think any of you guys have an actual craft skill that you can use the ranks on, because I don't think there is any type of armor that uses weaving.
I have craft ticked, but I don't have anything written.
I mean, you get.
Of course, because armor includes light armor, which is made of cloth, which includes weaving.
Yeah, but that's you're talking about threads on with a what are they called? The old weaving things.
I mean, yeah, but the concept is still the same. You're just doing it on a much smaller level, because your threads are macro and your machine doesn't exist. So you're just replicating what the machine does with your hands.
I will allow your argument to slide. So you guys can use your intelligence or your dexterity. You make your roll now.
Ooh, yay. He's motivated.
Am I supposed to be rolling?
Yes, sir. Intelligence or dexterity.
Is this to make a disguise?
Weave the thing into like a hiding thing.
We would all need to be
Like
doing
a big viney tent thing.
Yeah.
Okay, because if we all need to be doing it, I'll do it. Otherwise, I would have just left it to Rayron.
The idea is that you need to make something big enough that all of you would be able to hide in.
All right, so just a dexterity check.
Si, senor.
Okay.
Ooh.
Okay, you guys all rolled very well. And so even with his aid as well, though he moves the slowest, it's clearly the least dexterous and not very creative out of all of you. So he rolls way worse, but all of you start weaving this together, trying to make almost like a basket, but not like perfectly formed. Like there's a bit of a form to it, so you can kind of get underneath it, but also throwing more vines on top and whatnot to make it look messy and whatever as
Like
well.
a hide.
Exactly. And you're literally going to try to climb under this thing to hide. I'm going to allow one person to make a stealth check to more or less allow you guys to hide throughout the night, or a survival check. And everybody else, the other three combined, you're going to give that person a +4. So one person may make a stealth or a survival. Discuss amongst yourselves, and whoever that person is rolling gets a +4 from the aid of the other three.
No pressure, Jake.
Ha!
So no one has Seven to stealth.
Yeah, no. Surprisingly, no. Especially with my fatigued state.
Okay, I'm just going to put forward that out of this group, I have rolled considerably more ones than anybody else.
It's fine. Which means, statistically, now's your time to roll that 20.
All right, so you want me to roll a survival?
Survival
or
or
stealth.
whichever's best.
Can I guidance myself too?
Yeah, I would say so.
Okay, well, so +5 to this then.
Because you could just guidance yourself several times. Whoa!
29.
Whoa! Do you want to use a luck just to make sure you get that 30? No, I'm just kidding. So, but I'm not though. Do you? So with your 29 check, you guys are all like, he lets everybody else get under it first. Everybody else get under it first, and the last possible, and he's like, all right, everybody, just like hold this spot together perfectly. Throws a couple of vines, darts underneath it, and lets you guys rest the thing down. And everybody's hiding underneath the thing. You're all extremely impressed at how well it was done. The plus side is you don't think anything is going to see through this at all whatsoever. The downside is I think 2 or 3 of you are completely blind in here. Only the one with dark vision can actually see. Actually, so Kithel and what's his name? One can see perfectly. The other 2 are just completely blind. And
Baron's clutching the sunrod ready. He's just like, the second something pulls this thing off of us, the sunrod's going off.
So as you guys are kind of settling in, and the first like half hour passes, and you guys are all quietly trying to eat food. But honestly, the way that this is echoing inside here as you guys are eating your food, echoing kind of, you know, I mean, let's be serious. There's a lot of stuff to absorb the sounds because it's vines, not solid, right? But the way that just the sound is sitting in here, you're getting the impression you think it's doing a really good job of stopping sound from leaving it as well. So even like whispered conversations and even like somewhat crunchy food, like granola, not chips. Let's not push our luck. you think would be fine.
Yeah, it's like Valorant's just like
Pringles or something, you know. Oh,
There's that moment where it's like everyone's super tense. It just goes from face to face to face, then just in the background.
Doritos. And you know it's Valorant. Like, you know it's Valorant. So anyways, that allows you guys to kind of start following, relaxing a bit. And Kithel will finally speak up and say, perhaps then we should begin taking rest amongst ourselves. It seems as though placing like a heavy and very, very firm, though you imagine it's his attempt to be gentle, hand on Valorant's shoulder. And his arm again, it's almost like an orangutan with its length compared to like his torso. You know what I mean? Reaches out and just like grabs you in a way that you didn't think that he could from his distance, and says, "You should probably rest first. You seem exhausted."
Okay, I like that idea. I will rest first.
yes, I'm going to take some sleep too.
I will take first watch.
Kithel looks to you and says, "If you do not mind, I would like to take first watch. It seems as though each of you had a bit more of a rough time getting here than myself. And as much as I am disappointed with your friend's approach to things, I am still in a bit of debt that you are willing to aid me at all." It's loud enough that, Ray Ring can hear him.
Okay.
Since one doesn't respond for a bit, it's like a pause. He says, "Then together."
No.
I nod.
Okay. And so the night watch begins. And what is it? An hour watch begins. Right, boys? Right, boys?
Yep.
Yes.
Oh god, don't make that with knowing where that's coming from right now.
Spoilers. does.
Really? Really? Spoilers? Spoilers?
You're so
Oh, hello.
There's a window behind you. What floor do you live on?
I live on a house, so multiple floors.
So what floor is your room?
This room is on the first floor.
Throw up. Little hook.
So we have proof that you think the cat's cute, sir.
I've never seen such proof. It's a lie. So you yeah fake news. So they superimposed my face on Trump. That's what happened here. So you guys begin the watch for the evening, and the two of you actually have a bit of a pleasant time, fading into conversation with one another. Slow at first, but it's not like you guys are. Yeah, it's not like you guys are chatty. It's more of a, you gonna finish that? Like kind of like there's a quiet conversation back and forth. But either way, why don't we take our second break as the two of you rest this evening? And we'll be back very shortly. So everybody peep, poo, do what you gotta do, but do it on your own time.